All right, good evening, everybody. It's Roden again, and welcome to Eve Station Trading, episode 39. All right, let's do this. Pretty excited. Lots of stuff to cover today. We had some pretty seemingly textbook calls from last week that I really want to go over and see how they did. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully there was some movement on them, but we'll see. I mean, not too long from making that recording last week, I was kind of seeing some discussions in SEC Lounge, at least, as far as the dropping price of minerals, which we called out last week. Not necessarily minerals per se, but the compressed ores. So we'll see how that plays out this week. All right, let's do this, man. Excited. I definitely have some stuff I want to go over as well. Some just general market news, actually, from other folks within the community. All right, so we called out as buys last week. Compressed ABCs. We looked at ABC specifically. Funny how that works. So we called it right. Yeah, it was right here, actually. We called it like right as it was reversing. That's pretty good. Oh wait, Cap. So I wonder if our so uh, I did this real life, right? Doing trading in real life, and one of the things that I actually come across some of the various books that I read and different manuals and guides and stuff like that is the idea of a self-fulfilling prophecy. That sounds really weird when I uh, making these calls, and it seems like, and I'm not saying the show is like that influential, but it just seems like we're calling stuff that's so obvious that when we anticipate it, when we anticipate the price to go somewhere, it kind of just goes, and it kind of works like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I've been seeing that a lot. So I don't know if it's just the calls are so obvious that they just has nowhere else to go but where we predict it's gonna go. So that's kind of cool. But good call on compressed Arcanor if you were holding on to it for some reason. We call it right around here, right as it was, it was teetering on the near the 90-day lows for this item, and it bounced back pretty good. And looking at where the median price is, it looks like pretty standard capturing it from cells because they are so undervalued. I mean, I totally would, yeah. All right, so that's the Arcanor picture. The other compressed variants, all right, went up a little bit. It's more of a playing off of a trade channel right now, which is fine. Not enough volume on this one. Probably not the others as well. Oh, okay, not this one. Yeah, same thing. Oh, big spike right here. Big spike for today. All right, great. So that's the compressed Arcanor picture. Let's look at Bistot. No, man. What's really happening is when Roden really needs to upload some of this stuff, he's like, hey, this is pretty low, you should buy. So that we buy all of this strong. Dude, I'm still holding on to that strong. But I'm way too lazy to actually move it to Provi, or way too lazy to just put it on. I should honestly just put it on sell, even though it's at a loss. But I'm in the middle of building my building a capital right now. I mean, I could actually use the strong. I'll probably just hold it for myself, to be honest. But that's a really good point though, Nomad. I mean, there's not a lot of us that actually do this in a public platform, not just necessarily as an educational tool, but maybe as kind of for entertainment too, right? Um, it wouldn't surprise me if there's at least some forum warriors that kind of uh, do that thing that you're talking about, like, hey, this thing's really low right now. You should buy it, and then you're just offloading stuff, right? Or vice versa, right? Oh, this is really high right now. If you have it, sell it. And then they're just trying to offload it too, right? So it wouldn't surprise me if someone out there is actively doing that kind of social manipulation. Like it's just kind of easy. It's kind of easy because a lot of people don't like. This is a very niche activity in an already niche game, and a lot of times, like even when I explain market stuff, like even in like big shows, like like TIS or sometimes even open comms, and like, cause I kind of feel bad because it feels like I'm like they're. I'm not saying they don't get it. It's just that they don't appreciate the nuance of sometimes when the market folks start talking. They don't, what I mean? They don't appreciate the actual effects of it. But it is what it is. That's kind of funny though, because there's probably some truth in that. Not necessarily for me, because I don't, believe it or not, I actually don't play that much. I've been doing more imports, exports than actual flipping. But even when I was doing just writing the articles, when I was actively trading, I was noticing something like very similar behavior like that. I would call something as a buy or reveal it as a good buy that I did, and people would just like pounce on it. And same thing for sales, people would just pounce on it, and then it would actually give me some maneuvering room to counter that move that just happened. Hey, Eek. Nomad, to do it well and actually have people listen, you need to sprinkle in between actual deals, though. Otherwise, people would stop listening. Nobody made money from the advice. That's true. Cap, I'll say it. I'll say it. They don't get it why they hire it out. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's why people give it money to make more money for them, right? Just do some Eve magic to make it grow. They just don't understand it well. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird though that people don't get it, right? Like at least for me, like, because that's one of the like absolute unique selling points of Eve, but it's actually not very well documented or practiced by the player base. For the most part, the player base entertains itself by doing the more kind of pedestrian activities in the game, right? I guess PvP is pretty pedestrian, especially in the PvP game. All right, so let's take a look at Bistat. It's easier to rat. Dude, it's easier to rat, but you make more money doing this. And it's actually easier to do this as far as genuine time spent. Once you have your system in place, of course. Nomad, some people become too reliant on third-party tools. Yes. People forget that they're just tools. They're not actual sources of answers. But then those tool developers stop playing and stop updating their tools. Yep. And that's not just in the market. Yeah, I mean, if you guys notice, I mean, the whole format of our show, I don't use tools because I don't enjoy using them, because figuring it out is the fun part for me. Like, that's the actual gameplay for me, is the figuring out part. So if I use tools, even though I may actually make more money, it's not going to be as entertaining. It's not going to be as fulfilling for me. Envy the wallets of traders. Eek! The more active traders actually don't have a lot of money in their wallet because it's always working. It's always working doing something, right? Like me, besides the wallet the wallet that I was allotted for Alliance, that's my most active wallet right now for sure. My other trading wallets haven't moved a lot because there's not a whole lot of opportunities right now, and I'm really focusing hard on imports exports. But I definitely want to discuss that actually with you guys a little later, because I think I've kind of hit this barrier in that operation. Nomad, tools are nice to supplement existing knowledge and skill, but when you never learn the skill, it won't last forever. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Cap, how I got my wallet was Lockfox. Oh, I miss Lockfox's show, man. Yeah, learning to pull the trigger, dude. You gotta pull that trigger, man. You got like Lockfox is very unique though, and I'm probably like my style is probably closer to the Lone Wolf, to be honest. But Lockfox, man, like I just couldn't wrap. I didn't have the technical technical ability to do what he did, but it'd be nice to. For the most part, I kind of just talk my way to solutions. So I'm not sure how much he himself actually traded. From what I understand, he was really more of a builder, but that kind of makes sense. Right? All right, Bistot, same thing. Didn't actually move much. It's still out of buy zone. Not enough volume. Now still on the buy zone. Okay, so Arcanor was kind of weird. I wonder if that's more of an action of the oversupply from places like Delve and Dronelands, I guess, that are making it into the greater market. He's a Python rat? Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. I wonder how he's doing these days, man. I do miss him. A little bit of a jump on compressed crocite. It looks like it's very much outlier behavior though, because you can only see it on the Danshin, and it doesn't reflect it as neatly with the mean prices. It's okay. Still buy zone. It's not getting any lower, so that's a pretty good sign actually. It's not getting any lower. And if it's a real, I think that's really more indicative of a real floor, especially right before wintertime. I think so. Working his ass off, yeah. Is he super busy? I'm surprised he found the time to even do the show. Even though, yeah, he did it once a week and he did his office hours on either on the weekends. He's super busy. Not enough volume on that one. All right, so that's the picture for ores, guys. It looks like, for the most part, it's staying where it was. There's some sell opportunities for Arcanor, but it's just Arcanor though. Eek, do you just look over everything on the market from time to time? I kind of have an idea. For the most part, believe it or not, I actually one of my main guides to kind of direct me where to go is actually people talking in the various market discords that I'm in. I'm a very observant participant in those discords, because you got people there that have much larger wallets than me, much more active participation in this kind of activity, and I kind of just follow the trend that they're speaking of, and then I just check in the market to see if it's something I can play, and see if it's something that I can talk about with you guys. So yeah, it's no real magic, you know. It's just I listen and I observe. That's it. Market discords, yeah, like SEC Lounge. There's several actually that are nullsec based as well. It's kind of regional. There's a few for Pravi that I'm in, and just about like talking to alliance mates, things like that, especially with the import export thing that I'm doing. Let me see if I can actually put a link in there. Market Illuminati discords. Well, it's sorta, I guess. I mean, Caleb runs it, so maybe. That's actually pretty true. I think that's pretty true. So that's the link to the SEC Lounge Discord, guys. Because I want more war. People kill each other big numbers and leave me alone. We'll see. I mean, that's the low price is very indicative of not having big battles, though, right? Oversupply in general. All right, advanced moon materials. We looked at specifically ferrogel, hypersynaptic fibers, and plasmonic metamaterials. This is gonna be good because they were at the bottom of the trough when we were looking at them last week. Okay, first off, ferrogel. Oh, it's starting to pick up ever so slightly, ever so slightly. That's okay. Ever so slightly. Between, that's like what, 42 to 45, something like that. It's an increase in value. I mean, you're probably gonna have to hold out to this for a while. But we'll see how this trend develops and how much room it has to go up. But All right, next one's hypersynaptic fibers. It's right on it still. Still at the bottom. I mean, regardless, man, it's a good time to buy. If you don't mind holding on to it, I think it's a really good time to buy. We can't be at this oversupply stage forever, man. Especially with winter coming. I have a hard time believing we're gonna find ourselves in a low conflict period, especially with that change with alphas. Next one's plasmonic metamaterials. Still low, but picking up. All right. There's a little bit of life in it. So that little bit of life in it may very well be that that's the extent of that push. So you kind of have to see that too. You have to understand that too, guys. Like, just because it's going up doesn't mean it's going to go forever. The same way we look at just because it's going down doesn't mean it's going to go down forever. There's eventually going to be a point in there where either the buyers or the sellers are going to sell out, and it's going to display that in the charts. All right, MPTCs. There was a big sale last week. So let's see how that affected the market. I only know a few people who actually bother with these, who bother actually trading these. It's such a high investment item. I wouldn't be comfortable like trading these. Oh, look at that. We called it right here. That's a good call. That's a strong call. Strong call. That's like what, between like 1.25, I think it's reasonable. 1.25 to mean of 1.4. That's a lot. Billion, mind you. That's a lot. That's a lot. Let's do the quick math on that actually. It's 15% before taxes. And these things you can reliably buy and sell them in near 0% market citadels. So that would have been a good buy. That would have been a good buy. And polymer materials for buys. Polymer materials have been so good, man. Still at a buy, but it's not getting any lower, so that's good. Because it genuinely is at its really near its 90-day low. Same with carbon 86. Man, this crazy amount of oversupply, man. Fuller rate naturally went lower, I think. He went a step lower. And we talked about that last week too. You think it's the bottom, but it's not really the bottom. Fluoroferrocene still going down. Wow. Nothing reversed, huh? Graphene. Man, it looks more like it's about to. There's more room for it to go down. I'd watch this. The reversal on this is going to be epic. The reversal on this is going to be pretty epic, I think. And by epic, I mean probably at least 15%. At least. If you can find the volume to dump it. If you can let it out of the market at a rate that will allow you to not crash it, if you have tons of these. That's alright. Stay same level. Most of these are still buys. Dang, without a full rate, like dumped harder actually. This is one of the cool calls we made last week. It's like, man, I don't know. I think it's got a ways to go down still, because the 5-day moving average it's very steep. BPD, same thing. Still a buy. Same thing with Scandium. All right, nothing too crazy. None of them reversed. It's all right. None of them. You probably would have maintained the value if you bought it last week for most of these. There's a few that went. There's only one. I think two that went down lower. That's okay. All right, now we're gonna go over our cells from last week. We called out atmospheric gases and items like that. I think it's from raw. It's like the cheaper raw moon materials we're gonna look at. It's still a cell. It's still going up, man. It's not letting up. It's not letting up. That's amazing. So I wonder if we're at a spot right now where the supply really has been depleted. And we're genuinely not making enough of this stuff. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, that's probably going to take a while to really correct itself if the supply, all the hidden supply inventory has been depleted. That's going to be pretty epic. Yeah, Jeronica! Hey, man. Yeah, we haven't quite made it to your section yet. Still talking about last week. Cadmium's still good. I'm gonna find one more cheapo one that we were looking at last week. Alright, got an F. Nearly max on new moon mining skills. Okay. Good luck, man. Hopefully you'll be able to actually mine it. At least in Provi, it's actually not very. It hasn't been disrupted. At least in our pocket, not that much, if at all. See, evapor deposits, one of the cheapo ones. Man, that's amazing. If this is the new standard pricing for it, that's pretty good. Most of these are still pretty high. Hydrocarbons, like even the cheapo ones are actually really high value right now. Hey, Dresnick. I haven't seen you in a while, man. All the show you do always feel like some Wall Street executive when it's on. You know what it is though? That's the RP value, right? I RP a Wall Street guy. I really need to. I don't have enough knowledge of how these raws actually break down, or what feeds into what. I'm more knowledgeable on that with the polymers. Cheetah Street, right? This is the niche of the niche, man. As much market knowledge that we can muster up, that's gotta be worth. There has to be value in that, right? That's influential value, right? Ah, cheaper ones? That can't be it. Silicates. All right, cool. Ah, oh man, I think it's a genuine. I think the supply is really gone. The hidden supply is really gone. That's amazing. It didn't take that long. It didn't take that long at all. But we already had a fair hypothesis going that most people don't have large inventories of those cheaper raw materials anyway. So it would have been easy. It would have taken less time to actually deplete that versus say Tech or Dispro, right? God and F says, do you do anything other than the market in Eve? I'm actually a Losec guy for the most part. I live in Losec. I do faction warfare because I'm a scrub, but I do enjoy that level of that kind of PvP. I really enjoy the solo small gang stuff in small ships, and I also live in Provi, so I do a little bit of the big fleet stuff that happens in Provi, and it's really cool to actually experience like the different ends of the spectrum when it comes to the game. Not a lot of people have the ability to do it, or there's the desire for the most part. People tend to go all in on one particular activity. Yeah, man, dude. Like, I'm. What am I using right now? I'm using a coercer right now because I'm in a Mars space. I really enjoy using the coercer. I just like because a lot of people underestimate that. Oh, I'm just gonna hug it and I'll be fine. No, you gotta know like, unless like even though it's just a 2 mid ship, like lasers with Tech 2 ammo, like Tech 2 small pulse lasers, pretty powerful as long as you're fitted with the correct ammo. It's fine. You'll smash faces. Yeah, I made that mistake earlier today. Right? People will like try to hug my course like just swap that to conf lag. Let's go. But I usually start off with Scorch, right? Eek says, do you think that hermetic membranes might rise in price? Hermetic membranes, I can't remember ever actually looking at that. Specialized. Okay, I've actually never looked at these. Okay. Will it ever rise in price? What makes it up? You know what? I've been seeing an oversupply display on PI as well. Actually, it's one of our calls for today. And when we're calling it across the board for P4s, you know everything else below it is cheap. Because I just like mining, making spreadsheets, and wild calculation. I hate mining. Mining's cool, man, because it allows me to have a closer look at the goods, have a closer look at what I'm selling, have a closer look at where the markets are, especially when I was doing low sec markets specifically. Didn't even make it to the courser. I love the courser, man. I'm definitely getting used to Marships again because Provi being Provi, almost all of our doctrines are MR. I feel compelled to actually just get into it, just to get more used to the whole tech. All right, another cell we called out was the Proteus. The Proteus, I think it was a very short-lived action, mostly because of it was actually used as doctrine in a pretty big fight last week. Yeah, corrected. Okay. Yeah, so this is basically we have a fight in Provi. We need Proteus. Then the fight's over. Alright, go back to normal, guys. That's basically what happened. I was talking to my alliance mates about this. Actually, it's like I was because they saw that I made the call of, oh, sell Proteus is good for selling right now. Then I think they just as they were buying it for I don't know doctrine replacements or something like. You're buying it overpriced, man. Wait a little bit. That is what it is. Yeah, P4 is looking. It's looking good to buy. Honestly, it's looking good to buy. And we had one more. We had Harbinger Navy. I doubt this dropped. I doubt this dropped. Slight correction, maybe just to accommodate the LP, but. Hold it as a sell, like right around here. It's just the price is just genuinely trending upwards because Amar LP is super expensive right now. Super expensive. It's gonna stay expensive to be honest. It's gonna take with the way the citadels are honestly and how they affect low sec, the ecosystem in low sec. I'm something tells me that wherever the tiers are right now, they're not gonna budge all that much. I don't think it's gonna flip, and it's gonna take so much to actually reach a point in their population where it's just gonna naturally flip itself. It's gonna take way too many people. Dresnik, I was making huge profits earlier buying up accelerators. Some were selling cheap and reselling to low null stations. Yeah, makes sense. That's something I should really look at for imports, but that's something I actually want to discuss with you guys too, is how that's going. Alright, so those are all our calls from last week. Hey Lord Carvin, what's up man? So right now, actually we'll go into that right now. Actually don't have a whole lot for Providence imports and exports. The only thing I do want to go over is nitrogen isotopes specific. I had a really good time flipping those this week. I had about 20% margins that I was earning on my stock of nitrogen isotopes. I think I brought in probably about 500 mil worth. I'm about 1/4 of my stock left, and I just placed it in the main hub and just waited. I don't think I've. I think I changed. I modified the price once all week, and then I'm just earning on it. So let's see how it looks like right now. So that's the only thing I really want to add to the imports exports picture. Besides that, I actually haven't done much with it this week. Ooh. So I got the nitrogen isotopes from actually I think I got it from Amar. I bought it for about 700 or so, 720, something like that. Pretty close to where the buy is right now. And I've been selling it in Providence for like 950, 960. And when you're the only available stock in the main market hub, buy my shit. You have no choice but to buy my shit. Love it. Love it. Because there's like nitrogen, like not just nitrogen, but all the isotopes are literally just strewn about the entire region. There's no consolidation on them. And people are just like, either they're too lazy or they're actually just seeding it for their own pocket. But at the same time, they're not seeding it in volume. So it's like literally like a jump here and there. It's not enough to actually be. It's not enough to make the jump freighter pilots or the capital ship radders like, yeah, I'm comfortable buying it from here because and constantly coming here to refuel because I know that there's gonna be a reliable market source here. But it's like stock's too low. I'm one of the bigger stockpiles selling right now. Dresnick, isn't fuel emerging soon? Haven't read officially. Just heard in the whisperings. I haven't heard of it merging. I think there was talks of it a while ago, but I haven't seen anything recently. Yeah, I mean, Prophet, thank God it was being used finally. Will prices in null change since capital fuel changes? It's hard for me to make that call because I'm only seeing the picture in Pravi. But basically, from what I can tell, it Pravi is actually a bad indicator because the way people price things in Pravi, it's like they're either losing out on fuel or they don't care because they're trying to help like their friends out, or people are seeding things into the market and are doing it at a loss. That's one of the main things right now that's actually pushing me into this position of I actually can't afford to import to Pravi right now because prices are too low, and it's genuinely cheaper to just utilize your either Corp or Alliance drum freighter services to get your goods in as long as you're patient. So as far as will capital fuel be expensive and no, it should be if it's properly priced for profit. It should be. No man, just buy all the Pravi and then relist it at the right price. Dude, I did that for Pyrite and Tritanium, man, and it took like 2 weeks for them to recover. I was kind of expecting them to take longer than that. It only took them 2 weeks to recover from my market shenanigans. They were quick to mind that shit, man. They were quick to mind it. So right now I'm considering, because I as a business model, I should not be moving my jump freighter unless it's full or it's packing more than a fair amount of value, right? As far as like right now, there's nothing motivating me to make a return trip into Pravi based on what I have right now. The only thing that I literally have in my jump freighter right now is helium isotopes and a can of a BPC set for an apostle. I'm not gonna go back to Pravi with literally like less than 1/10 of my cargo hold full. Like, no, that's silly because fuel costs money. You know what I mean? I have nothing to import because the pricing is not conducive to profiteers, and But then you have the folks that say, well, I don't know why they have to charge so much, and it's so much cheaper to just get it in Jita. I was like, all right, crazy, go get it in Jita yourself. Go buy it in Jita yourself. Figure out how to get it in. You're paying for the convenience, fool. Like people want stuff, but they don't want to pay the cost of finding it in region. Get out of here, man. So with that mindset, I think I'm better off actually offering just jump freighter services on top of what I can import on a weekly basis. But I definitely want to continue with imports, just that I can't find substantial volume to import right now. Because yeah, good luck on that, especially if you live in no. That's like scary. I was like, it's scary. It's like nature. That's like scary. Nomad, but some things listed in no markets are marked up stupid high. They are. But if you're the guy that buys them when other price points are offered, I mean that's on you, man. That's on you. But at the same time, if the entities that control the space see no value in controlling their own markets, then that's bad on them too. You know what I mean? Like I'm just like like I'm not gonna lie. Like how I marked up the nitrogen, that is the only available that is competitively priced for that very specific location. Is it high? Yeah, but you know what? That's the lowest for that specific location. So I'm competing against my fellow marketeers, and they start that high. I just go -1 ISK. It's -1 ISK. That's all I'm doing. No man, when I see it's interesting, is income in null is equally high. It is, and it's easy to get. You don't even need that much SP. No man, when I sell it now, I list it at 20-25% from buy order price. That's way higher than I normally do. I just lucked out on the nitrogen isotope. But I see things like 200%, yeah, and people don't buy it, and people get mad like it's listed like that. But it's not like anyone buys it. It's not like anyone buys it. Or one would hope that no one buys it. So that's what I'm playing around with right now. I just gotta calculate how much to charge per M3. All right, so I'm gonna link something real quick here, guys. So this is a forum post from one of our buddies here, Jeronica. All right, I'm actually gonna change our overlay here so we can take a look at it. Drezig, I never thought I'd see the day when I'm making 1.4 billion is per week. That's a lot. That's a lot for me. That's a lot for me. Make that much passively. I could probably get close to that, but I'm too lazy, man. I'd rather just like bullshit in chat. All right. So that forum post right there, guys, talks about Mogul's investment opportunities. I'm actually gonna change the overlay right now so that I can show you guys what it looks like. Yeah, 1.4 per weeks passively has been nice. How much capital? Yeah, it's true. All right, guys. So if you're looking at a screen right now, this is if you were to look at that forum post from Jeronica, it's basically an IPO opportunity, and it links back to his website, the Mogul website. That's basically the platform from which to buy and sell the stocks. All right. So let's kind of read along here with the forum post real quick. So the forum post basically talks about a new module in the eVogue website, which is the stock exchange. And let me show you a little bit of that. So for those of you guys who have never used this before, the Mogul website actually offers lots of services. This has been around for at least 2 years now that I know. When I was still writing my articles, this is the platform that I actually use to track my profits from trading. Yeah, there's only two stocks here. So right now I'm logged in on my Robro account. It kind of just automatically gets it. So if you're a new person, you just have to set up your account. It's a single sign-on, I think. I don't think it's API driven anymore. So these are the services that are actually available. You have trading, portfolio, the exchange, which is the module we're on right now. Citadels, because not only is Jeronica the operator of the Mogul website, he also is your friendly neighborhood Citadel mogul all throughout Empire and MO. Nomad, I had looked into it, but I wasn't sure if it was still being updated, and it seems like everything else has fallen. Are you talking about the website? So right now we're at the exchange. And then from here, you have the section your shares or the exchange. And from here, you can buy or sell two types of stock. You have the Mogul Financial and the Mogul Mineral Reserve. And I'm gonna go over exactly which, what gives them value. All right. So if you were to think about it, you know how there's IPOs being offered in the forums and things like that. And a lot of them, the way you interact with them, depending on who's doing it, it can be the buying and selling of corp shares. I've seen that. I've also seen the buying and selling, or not necessarily buying and selling, but offering up, like transferring money to a player, and then from there they just keep track of how much to pay back to you. Okay. Let me go back to my Discord real quick. All right, so the Mogul Financial, what gives that value? So that's the brand and holding entity that manages and oversees the projects under the Eve Mogul sphere. I'm reading out Jeronica's explanation of these items, okay, from our conversation in Discord. This includes extensive real estate holdings as well as the trade analytics website, which is what we're on right now. I'm pretty sure that's what it means. Also manage. Oh, sweet. The Mogul Financial has a board who is taking a larger part of the decision making, though although Jeronica is still the deciding vote on most aspects. All right. All right, so for giggles, let's say right now I have a balance of 250 million. Go back to this. So that's the Mogul Financial there. Then you have another share that you can buy and sell, which is the Mogul Mineral Reserve. The Mogul Mineral Reserve basically bounces off of the values of the Sotillos that he has. The Mogul Mineral Reserve was formed to be the supplier of minerals in the Sotillos. While the MMR, the Mogul Mineral Reserve, makes profits, the Sotillos themselves make ISK as well, since minerals sold there tend to go directly into jobs and extension industry fees. MMR is ran by Jeronica and Kefik, but will be expanding its staff in Q1 of 2018. Wow, expansions! Love it, love it, love it, love it. Share scam. Oh, I don't know about that. For those of you guys who may not be familiar, there's a few definite institutions out there. like Lockfox is one of them, Caleb is one of them, and another one definitely is Jeronica with the Emogul infrastructure out there, man. Because I can't think of, besides I Choose You, I can't think of anyone else with very spread out structures in Empire right now. Double your risk. I double people's risk. It only took me 4 months. All right, so let's go over. So, first of all, how do you get money into your account here? Gotta make sure like this can be seen on stream. So you go to the E in the account, and then from there, your account balance, and there's instructions here how to deposit and how to withdraw. So if you just follow along this instruction, and I've done this before, obviously, and it's pretty quick to actually make it to the website. So no, that website is a lot to look at the Gene Scammer's bio, so maybe I'll bite. I mean, it's a lot like my passion project when I was trading for people. You know, I didn't have any tools. Actually, this was the main tool that I used. You know, was the ability to show the profits. But going back to the services, to the exchange. So right now we have let's go to buying. So let's say I want to buy shares of the Mogul Mineral Reserve. It has an estimated price of 105,000 ISK, I bet. And I want to buy 100 units of this. And order has been placed. Great, look at that. Buy requests. Sweet. That's actually really fast, Jeronica. Wow. Expecting it to, to like... That's really good though, man. So when we buy and sell these, we're basically buying and selling the available shares that you kind of have allotted already, right? And if I want to... Oh, I can cancel on the spot too. Oh, neat. So that's the buying part. And for the selling, let's see how we go about selling this. Right now I have a quantity of 50,000 for a share value of 5.2 billion. Wow, okay. I'll sell this. 500,000. Let's sell 1,000 units of this. And okay. And order has been placed. All right, so there's like an escrow function, right? This is neat. This is cool, man. I think I would feel a lot more comfortable buying into an IPO program like this versus a direct peer-to-peer exchange. Definitely. Nomad asks, so in short, I'm putting my ISK into your corp, and when your corp makes profit, I make profit? Am I understanding that right? Jeronica responds, MMR shares have been dispersed, so that's how Rowan already has 500K, and you sold directly to someone, sell order there. Neat. So there's definitely it really works like a stock exchange. That's really cool, man. That's really, really cool. How much do you... I mean, this can probably see a lot of use, Jeronica. I mean, that's really cool, man. This is really cool, man. All right, is there anything else we can show, Jeronica, from this specific module? Oh, you're doing dividends later? Ooh. Is that going to be built into both IPO types, the financial and the MMR? Dividends would be neat. The power of compounding interest, man. Yeah, it'll be handled through the website. Oh wow, that's cool, man. This is a very unique product for sure. I haven't seen anything like this before. And now that we've actually shown it, I'm pretty sure someone's gonna steal your idea, Jeronica. Oh, how to withdraw it through the dividends? Ooh, okay, that's interesting. All right, is there anything else you wanted us to show, Jeronica? Account page. Oh, okay, cool. We went through the account page, how to get money in. We'll go over that again. So account page, that's me. That's the email I don't really use anymore. Oh, how to withdraw? Okay, cool. Navigate to the withdraw page, start withdraw. Contact Jeronica for any issues. So we went over how to deposit. Basically, just you put money in via in-game, and we click on the withdraw page. Amount. Let's say we take out 355. I agree to the terms and conditions. Reason, cashing out's good. Draw requested, neat. How long would it take to actually for that stuff to make it to the player? Because basically that's something you'll have to do in game, right? Ski dudes, like, I've just signed that email up for daily cat facts. Damn you. Damn you. Rovero made a withdraw request. Oh, that's cool. But then you still have to do it in game. There's just no way around that, right? Like, there's no way to automate that. I wouldn't think so. Oh, neat. Own your Discord. Oh, cool. It's pretty legit, man. It's pretty legit. Because, I mean, it definitely, as an investor, it definitely makes me feel better about putting money into a product that makes me feel good about the process. You know what I mean? And it'll poke you to do it. Okay, great. Awesome. So we went over how to put money in. We went over how to buy and sell the stocks, which is the Mogul Financial and Mogul Mineral Reserve, and how to cash it out. Cool. He start getting popular. It could be insane. Lots of pokes. Yeah, yeah, it would be. I mean, that's why he's expanding staff, man. Yeah, that's nuts. I'm gonna have to, especially with winter coming and more people are tend to play the game and spend more time in game. Yeah, you'll probably this will probably get super popular. All right, cool. I think that's all the aspects of it, right, Jeronica? Jeronica's I want his version 2. I mean, to be honest, I mean, be easy enough to actually hit up some streamers to actually, to sponsor. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for. This does look legit. To elaborate, to be a Gita scammer, the best scammer in the history of Eve. Dude, like, Gita scamming is hard work, man. I'll tell you that right now. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of like begging in local. Ugh, gross. All right, guys. So I'm gonna go switch back our overlay here. All right, I think we're back to normal. All right, cool. Cav says it's like anything else. Don't invest in anything other than your mad money. If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, yeah. I mean, I definitely have experienced loss for sure over folks who either just like straight up ran away with it, which is fine. It happens. I'm not mad at that. I definitely appreciate the social engineering that went into it. And but then some people kind of real life gets in the way and they can't play anymore, so they can't make up the money. And I totally get that too. Yeah, seriously. I got some associates that are still kind of hurting on that end though. I feel bad, man. I feel fucking bad. But it's one of those things like don't put money in that you don't expect to lose. It's like buying a ship. It's like buying a super, buying a Rorqual. All right, and with that, we'll go ahead with our picks of the week. So for our buys, this week we're calling P4s like literally all of them. It just the whole category crashed. I'll be honest. It's pretty bad. Well, bad if you were expecting them to go up, but if it's just being oversupplied. There's so much oversupply in game right now, guys. It's nuts. I honestly I don't remember the game ever being this oversupplied on everything. It's amazing. Oop, P4. There you go. He's killed Fozzie Soft. Is it Fozzie Soft or are we just lazy? Because Fozzie Soft's not going away. I tell you that right now. I don't ever see it reverting back ever. Broadcast nodes, legit 90-day lows, guys, and it's just going sideways pretty hard. Like it's the new normal. Taking a response drone, same thing. Just riding that floor. Nano Factories went up a little bit, but then it's sitting in another trade channel, so it's still the price is still generally depressed. Invest into stilettos. That may actually be a good idea once you see the picture on room material calls. We're getting more applicators are just it's a free fall, man. This looks like one of those free fall scenarios. Like it looks like it's hit the floor, but it's just messing with your emotions. It's actually not done going down. Recursive computing module is probably the most stable one. It's definitely because this used to be a pretty high value item to make, man. But people are considering just for their own builds, they're capturing it right out of cell. They feel comfortable enough to capture it right out of cell. So I bought this item myself, self-harmonizing power core. I bought it right at 2.1. It looked like it was about to go up, but then it got pushed down pretty hard. Right at this point, it was already displaying about a 6-7% net profit if you were buying and selling in a near 0% market hub. So people cashed out. They cashed out right at 7%. That's a shame, man. I think it really could have gone more. But there was this herd mentality that just said, let's cash out. You like clicked on that PI for nothing. But that's what makes it kind of not that valuable, right? Because it's pretty easy to get. It's passive. But if you have, from a macroeconomic standpoint, if there's nothing to destroy the stuff, then the stuff has no choice but to be undervalued over time. Even robotics drop, yeah, dude, everything across the board, raw and intermediate components, materials really drop because nothing's getting destroyed, guys. Nothing's getting destroyed. I mean, have we found ourselves in a position where the coalitions and the large alliances just see no value in fighting and actually getting into like I'm gonna at least this is just my opinion, but if coalition A packs up their gear to go fight coalition B, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a war. All that means is coalition A packed up gear to fight coalition B. Because a lot of times they'll just fight, and then, we're getting bored, or no one's logging in anymore, let's go back home. It's not a war. It's not a war. Dresnik says right now Citadel timers are too cancerous. I think once you see how the Citadel picture looks once we have the option to only have to suffer through 2 timers if they're not in an active state, I think that's going to relieve a lot of it. But something tells me, having been with Wrecking Machine and having been a high sec Citadel Wrecking crew, a lot of high sec is going to be at 2 timers. It's going to experience the 2 timers because it's way too cheap to put up a Citadel. Way too cheap. So hopefully, after a few of them, but then just because it's easier to destroy doesn't mean people are going to bother to actually destroy. At least not an Empire. I'm not sure how that picture actually looks like in Greater Nullsec outside of my actual region. So we'll see. But at the same time, if there's a timer and it's in Nullsec, it needs to be important enough to actually have bothered to have done that, right? Otherwise, you're making yourself vulnerable. Have like someone has to pull a judge on mittens. Ooh, that's gonna take balls, man. that's balls. Citadels are insane, dude. Citadels and wormholes are insane. It's so OP. The very idea is so OP. All right. Next one we're gonna look at for buys, Gila. I use this ship, man. I love it. It's my ratting ship. I've never seen the price of Gila so depressed this long. As a PvE ship, it's not even dying. People are ratting it up, or not using this as combat doctrine, because they're kind of expensive to use as combat doctrine, but they're not dying enough as PvE boats. That's what this picture tells me. That's crazy. You say more like Hard Knocks are insane. Hard Knocks are insane. Gila's worthless, V9's too good. There's that, yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. Why do I bother with a Gila instead of a VNI? Because I could, and I got the money, I can afford it. It allows me to legit semi-AFK it. VNI, depending on what site you're in, you may have to babysit it, but for the price, I've already effectively paid off my Gila, but I will pay extra for convenience for sure. But maybe alphas will rise, Gilas for high sec. Hard to say, man. I think a lot of people put way too much value on anytime we talk about alphas. Me personally, as a customer of the game, until CCP becomes comfortable in saying, based on individual account information, we've identified that we gained X number of new players, actual new players, I can't really buy into the alphas 100%, because alphas is just a state of, it's just an account state. That doesn't necessarily mean new player. Like Rodin can become an alpha. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't support the idea that we have new players. That we have like fresh, players in the pool. All right, so if you're in the market for it, and if you don't mind holding on to it, especially if this market low keeps going, I think Gila's a good buy. He's like, man, I don't believe alphas will change anything. Yeah, it's just like CCP. Show me the number. Make me feel good about alphas, because right now it definitely doesn't feel good to hear like alpha Macario fleets. Are you fucking serious? I mean, I understand that really rounds out EVE as a free-to-play experience for an MMO based on how the rest of the genre does it in the industry. But there needs to be some sort of follow-up with that, I mean, if we're getting to that point where you want to just employ a free-to-play model and do away with the subscription model altogether, that's great, but doing this half and half thing like Arcage, like Albion, eh. Because at the end of the day, it's Omega or bust for good gameplay, right? But the barrier gets smaller and smaller with how the alphas are being used. Nomad, as a person with at least 7 alpha accounts and 2 mega accounts, yeah, means nothing. Yeah, exactly. Cav says most of the alpha accounts are alts, in my opinion. I agree. Until CCP releases stats as such, just an easy way for goons to run around Isaac. Probably. If Alpha can't afford Plex, he will not fly Macarial. At least up until he learns it, right? At least up until he trains it. Then he can go straight Alpha after that point. Eve is dead. Eve's been dying. It's just like, levels of death, I guess. But I'm still playing it. You guys are obviously still playing. We're still playing. We're still in it. We're still. Me personally, I talk a lot of shit, but at the end of the day, I'm basically gonna be here until Hilmar says, "Roden, you gotta go home because you're drunk. Go see your wife." You know what I mean? I'm gonna be here until the lights go out. Nomad, I'd rather see stats about unique IPs, not different accounts. I agree. Make me feel good about it, man. Make me feel good about it. Cab says, right now, an alpha can access 80% of my level. It took me 3 years to get to. Yeah, like, it feels bad. It makes... And that's why I'm more so than ever before I do the market gameplay. Because I know when I do market gameplay, there's a really good chance I'm not contending with alphas. Because I can crush them. I will actually be able to crush alphas in the market space, which is good. I should be able to, because I've earned it. I've done the ranch time. There is such a thing. So I was like, yeah, but I do it for fun. Never gonna be mega rich and don't care. Well, neither am I. I just like talking about Eve. That's to me, that's fun. When I log in to see 30,000 players currently logged in, I'm just wondering how many of those are multi-box mining fleets. I'm in a relatively small alliance in Provi. Concerning that comment right there, multi-box mining fleets, no comment. Of all places, Provi, crazy. Yep, MMOs work that way. You play, you have fun, but new players will catch up faster than you used to. Yeah, this is the way it is. And it's definitely helped by the free-to-play model. Alright, so that's the Gila picture. Next one I'm going to look at Ishtar. I actually called Ishtar's as cells a few weeks ago, like 3 or 4 weeks ago. But it had a pretty good correction. So if you're actually in Jita right now, you may want to take a look at this. It had a pretty, like, this is a really good correction. I don't think it's done going. It's starting to, it wants to fight it. It wants to fight it, but it's evening out. So if you're physically in Jita right now, you may want to take a look at this. If you can get this at as close to 250 mil as you can, I think that's a good price point. Sitting at 256 right now, 256 buy. That may be good enough, man. It's not me. It's obviously not 90-day low, but that may be a good starting point. He says, what do you think will be a good price for the Gilas itself? Well, let's take a look at it again. Let's see what the history says. I think it's pretty reasonable to see this at 210. Pretty reasonable to see at least 210. Yeah, mixed on the struggle. Yeah, it could. It's spent a few days going sideways already, so who knows. But from a macro viewpoint, if there's nothing destroying the Ishtars and they basically run rampant, they're not dying in PvP fleets, it's probably just going to continue to go down like everything else in the game, right? It sucks to say that, but hopefully that isn't the case. I mean, we're already, into the end of the year. I mean, the holidays and stuff like that, but hopefully things will pick up soon. But I'm not too keen on the political landscape, so I don't know if we're actually in a position to actually make a call like that. I honestly just don't know. All right, next one I'm going to look at is the worm. I haven't called the worm in such a long time. It was cool to be able to. This is one of those things too. I mean, even at the frigate level, that you think that the guys are, as far as the hull type and hull size, they should be getting destroyed the most. But it's getting oversupplied even then. Near 90-day lows, legit, for the worm. That's crazy. Now, granted, it's not as strong as it was a year ago, but given the price point, given what it can do, it's still a good ship. It really, really is. It's still a good ship. It's even though it has been, it got hit with a nerf bat pretty hard, but it really needed to though, because it was pretty oppressive. And for the price point of 50-55 mil, yeah, that's a really good price point. So if you can get these, or you have you have BPCs laying around, or you can cash in, or you want to just buy them straight up, and they're cheap enough, I can PvP in them. Yeah, dude, totally do it, man. Totally do it. And finally, for our buy, the skiff. It's kind of caught me by surprise. Really caught me by surprise. Dude, that's pretty drastic, man. Like, and it just dropped like a rock, like boosh. Like people, like there was it was almost as if someone was just waiting for the proper price point to drop it all, to just dump it on buy orders. Like, oh, it's good enough, dump. It caused this. It caused this price reduction. It's going sideways now. It's starting to peak up there, but I don't think there's enough juice. I don't think, because these things definitely don't die enough. They do not die enough to warrant a quick reaction like this. Because there's no point, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing motivating people to buy more of them if they're not dying. It's probably going to stay at this price point for a while, unless a whole bunch of them start dying for some reason. But they're skiffs, man. They're actually good combat ships, if anything. Can a skiff be killed? That's a good question. A legit solo skiff? If you got a gang, sure. But these are tough nuts to crack, man. And miners being miners, a lot. If they're smart, they're doing it in a place where they can get assistance if they get caught, right? And if you drunk infra guide to drones, yeah, totally could. Totally. All right, so those are all our buys of the week. We'll go over to our sells next. I'm gonna start off with Plex. Why are we going over Plex? I've been hearing things like, we should buy Plex. It's a great investment. It is. But not at this price point. Crazy. There is such a... That bugs me to no end, man. It's like, you don't just keep buying something. You have to identify when to buy it. Like, you have to identify the different values that's presented to you between technical analysis and fundamental analysis. Like, fundamentally, it's a sound strategy to buy something like Plex. But from a technical analysis standpoint, that should tell you when to buy and when to sell it. If you're sitting on Plex right now, and you don't see and you need the cash, and you just happen to need the cash right now, consider selling it, because it's pretty high right now. It's really high right now. Like, what caused this? And it's just people acquiring it. There's not a drastic change in volume, not that much. But there's a lot of acquisitions happening on sell side. So people are acquiring Plex to turn into subscription, right? Because there's so much money in the system right now. It's like, I'm just gonna Plex my account. Plex is spiking over Christmas holidays. Yeah, it tends to. Is the price going to be curbed back down through sales? Yeah, but it's gonna be very short. It's gonna be very short-lived corrections. Based on how much it costs right now and how much volume is in play, it may not be worthwhile to actually risk like really going all in during those during sale periods. I mean, if you're lucky, you'll probably gain, in the 3 to 5% range. Skin package. Oh, I didn't even think about skin packages. 3.3, man. 3.2 to 3.3. It's pretty good. So this is definitely a seller's market right now. Like I wouldn't buy into this. Like I hear, oh, Plex is going up right in price. You should buy it as an investment. Like, no, yeah, you can buy it as an investment, but not right now. Crazy, because it costs too much. You buy it when it's cheap. Extractors, ooh, extractors don't tend to get too crazy. Not compared to injectors. But yeah, probably extractors. But it's pretty crazy though, man. I mean, it's unless I mean, why such a spike? Because the cycles for skill farming, you'd see a very cyclical display of that. You don't really even see that in the current small Plex size. When Plex was still the old big one, it was very clear how the patterns were working game wide. How do you feel about Bitcoin? I'll be honest with you, Jeronica. I'm not too keen on how the value, like what backs the value of Bitcoin, but it's over 10 G's right now, if I'm not mistaken. That's nuts. That is absolutely nuts. I mean, I definitely am. I'm not gonna buy into that. That's too high. Only put your money, not in the mortgage payment. Yeah, man. It's like if anyone has them, like, dude, congratulations, good on you. But how does one cash out Bitcoin? Does one cash out Bitcoin simply by buying merchandise with it? Is that the only way to do it? Seems like all hype. Yeah, probably is. If there's nothing, if the value is just sentiment, then it's easy to hype it, right? Headhunters upcoming Full Scan and the new Amaro. Ooh, it's a new Amaro one. Ooh, nice. Yeah, no, I don't have Bitcoin. That's for sure. You can sell it for dollars, really? Ooh, what? That sounds really dangerous. The act of buying and selling like continuously, this what bears the value. Like I'd be more comfortable buying like precious metals, if anything. Like because there is inherent value in precious metals, even before the times of currency, right? Bitcoin is black market cash. Yes, it's that sounds like, right? So that sounds like. All right, so that's our that's definitely a very easy and obvious sell call for Plex. Is it sustainable? It looks like it's gonna achieve a new high, and it definitely the combination of the demand of Plex for skins and people have way too much money and they're just plexing their accounts. I think it's pretty reasonable to see this at 3.7 at least through January, February. I'm gonna make that call right now. To be honest, I mean, I think that's a very reasonable call that it will touch 3.7 uh, between now and February. Pretty reasonable, I think. Silk Road. No man, some deep web shit. Oh, it shut down. Oh, I was actually watching documentary on that like a few months ago. That's pretty interesting. All right, so that's the Plex picture right now. Next one I'm gonna look at, guys, is racial armor plate. So very specifically, the crystalline and the ferrite carbide. So someone was I forget who it was. They're saying, "Oh, I should invest in stilettos." Let's revisit that thought when we look at the ferrite carbide. So these are advanced components. The crystalline is galente. It had the downturn, correction, and it's staying up there. If you are creating these and you can make more of these rather quickly and you have the mats ready to go, dude, bust them out and send them over to Jita. You could probably, what's the buy for this? You could probably dump it on buys. Buys of 17. That's the top end. That's near 90-day. Well, except for this very outlier behavior right here. That's close to the 90-day high on buys. If you can make it right, if you can make it soonish or have a stock of it and you don't need it right now, dude, dump it. Why not? If you're not gonna use it anyway. Plex coin, yes. Alright, so that's how with the increasing price of crystalline carbonate armor plate, what's a fair expectation? A fair expectation would be Galante Tech 2 anything going up, Ishtars, Deimos, the mining barges use crystalline carbonate armor plates, so the miners. There you go. Most of them are already high anyway. They trend high naturally anyway, so. Alright, the next ones that I'm going to look at is the Minotaur variant, the Fernite. It's very outlier behavior, but it's a straight up, like someone just, oh, I'm gonna take all this stuff from sell. I'm just gonna buy up the market. That's basically what happened. So throughout its 90-day history, it's sitting close to 10K, and let's see where it's actually at right now. Between 15 and 28. It's double its value through very direct, so just direct purchases from sell side. It's like, oh, it's cheap enough, I'm gonna get it now. So what is this gonna affect? Tech 2 Minotaur anything. So stilettos, someone said stilettos a while ago. That might be a good idea. I mean, what Tech 2 Minotaur gets a lot of love in fleets these days? So that doesn't just apply to ships too, guys. That applies to modules as well. All right, so something to consider. Nothing comes to mind right now of Tech 2 Minotaur that's going to be in high demand. Not that I can think of. Unless this is just, oh, it looks good to buy right now. I'm going to buy it because it's just cheap. And that's pretty fair, actually. So if they were thinking, oh, I was going to, at this point right here, it's almost as if someone was trying to buy it off and then someone like fat fingered it for like the last 3 days. No man, there's oh, Saber, that's right, that's a good call, Sarah Doll. Saber prices should be off the roof, man. Let's take a look at Sabers right now, man, see if it's buyable. That's a good call, guys. See? Collective knowledge right here, man. So we saw in the last 3-4 days, the Fernite plates really high. Sabers are low right now. It's not gonna affect the production line yet. Not yet. You guys may want to buy into this now. You may need you're probably gonna have to buy into this now. Like right now. Right now. No matter, I'm going to attempt splitting my S between Jeronica's site and the market, so either way Jeronica makes up. There you go. Yeah, if you're in Jita, buy Sabers now. Because the armor plates are too high. And eventually because that creates a new standard of the price. Yeah, buy Sabers now. Man, I wish I had cash. I'm like the poorest market guy there is, man, I swear. Why am I doing this show? Alright, so that's the crystalline Fernite carbide composite armor plates with a tangent onto the Saber. Next one we're going to look at is the Caracal Navy issue. It's kind of a very natural call for LP. The LP calls are pretty, I'll be honest, LP based calls are pretty rudimentary because they're very straightforward. I think that's honestly just born out of the value of the LP. I don't think this is a doctrine based market reaction. I don't think so. I, this looks like just LP value at work. If you have it, or if you have a lot of Caldari LP that you want to cash out, now would be a good time to cash out. I'd cash out, especially if you have the LP in volume. It takes, I think, 50K LP to make a Caracol Navy issue conversion. And finally, we have the Zealots. So Zealots, Amar Heck. It's just, it's going through its cycles and it's up right now. It looks like it's on its way down though. It goes through this very predictable cycle, so might want to take advantage of it. If you don't take advantage of this soon, you may have to wait it out, because it's probably gonna, you may miss it if you don't do it like right now. Nomad says, who's buying the Navy cargo? Dude, they're just, a lot of times people just do it for a conversion, and for the folks that end up actually buying them, the few that actually do genuinely get bought for from sell side, it's probably high sec people that want to try them out for missions more than anything, honestly. Aren't they not that much better than the regular aside from high price tag? A lot of times it gives you a lot more options for fittings. Most faction, that's one of the main reasons to use faction in the first place, is fitting for fitting purposes. Yeah, if you want to be fancy, or you got new players like, oh, I'm gonna buy it because I can. Man, people do that all the time. I'm gonna buy it because I can. Nothing wrong with it, honestly. There isn't. All right, so those are all our calls, guys. So I think we got a pretty good call. The Saber call might be a really good one. Kind of out of nowhere, actually. Yeah, so, oh, one last thing I actually want to go over, guys. One last thing before we head out here. So this is an article by Jintan. Oh, Munin. People still use Munins. Yeah, let's check out Munin. Yeah, Munin's up. Munin's up. It's on its normal up price. Didn't actually go beyond it. The volume is really low though. Like I'm always a bit kind of wary about low volume items. Every interdiction cruiser broadsword. Yeah, it's actually done. The reason I put that up, guys, I guess it's. I'm kind of surprised we're already in that season. It might kind of make. Yeah, that sounds about right. But as far as I know, there hasn't been an actual official post from CCP about the CSM this year. But if Jintan is making articles like this, then I guess the CSN's still up. It's just want to put that out there for you guys. This is one of the more exciting periods in the year for me as a consumer of Eve Media, because like podcasts and articles come out of the woodwork during the CSM period, and some of them are really good, like really good exposés or explanations, or really good podcast series really developed during the CSM period. So really excited about that. I'm really glad that Jay McLean's actually running. Really glad about that. He's a good character, right? He's a good guy. I guess my only thing is I have placed myself in a position where I would never be able to actually run. Thank God. I ran last year. Wasn't expecting to win. I just wanted the experience. I just wanted to experience what it was like to run for the CSM. I really enjoyed myself. I really enjoyed doing the media rounds, and that's what actually motivated me to start streaming. Before until then, I was only doing articles, so that's what actually brought that's my progression from a guy writing about the market, running for a CSM, using that as my platform, and then doing market streams. So with that being said, I definitely don't ever want to put myself in a position where I may have to stop doing this. So I as long as I find value in doing market streams, I will never be a viable candidate because I was actually met with a lot of a lot of negativity when it was discovered that I'm a market guy. Oddly enough, apparently I have a lot of potential negative effect to the game as a CSM if I ever make it as a market guy versus someone who outright controls a coalition. I don't get that. I don't get it. I don't get it. So apparently I have more. I'm a worse CSM candidate for that. Yeah, he's basically, oh, you damn one Isker. You know the more. It's almost. I found it amusing that at that level of the game, like CSM candidates and pundits and stuff like that, they thought of marketeers as like voodoo practitioners or witches and warlocks, magicians in space, and like look crazy. It's the market. It's literally like fourth grade math. Like so that definitely is. That's one of the very few, probably the only negative experience I ever had with running. They're just not. Well, funny that I mentioned that, and yet guys like Aerith make it because it's a Goonswarm pick. Let's keep it real. So hopefully someone out there. He's like getting fame from running doomed campaigns in political election. He was real. That's true though. That's true. That's what motivated me to do this. I thoroughly enjoyed doing doing the media rounds. I enjoy talking about Eve. That's why I do this stream. Cass, I have no problem with being thought of as a high sec priest of Izgies. I'm really curious to see if there's any candidates that are going to come up with the platform of high sec. Something tells me no, probably not. That's something that me and a few of the guys did last year, but there's just not enough room. I just don't think there's enough room for a high sec candidate as long as Fuzzy Steve is there. I think as long as he's there, no one's actually gonna dethrone him as the not nullsec pick. Not nullsec, not lowsec, not nullsec, not lowsec, not wormhole pick. Nomads is what those people don't understand is what it takes to get stuff on the market. Without marketers like us, stuff would never be available on the market because the people providing it don't have the time to sit and adjust market sales. Yeah. We offer a service. That's why I was talking about importing versus just being a hauler service, right? Imperium Pacta Slate, yeah, I did. So I'm really I hope that there's an official message from CCP that kicks off the CSM election officially. I hope that there's going to be variations in candidates, but something tells me there isn't because there's just not enough room. There's not enough room, unfortunately. But at the same time, I mean, I gotta throw this out there because it is a genuine concern of mine. Do I support something like the CSM? Yeah, I always have. I ran myself, right? But with the current environment we find ourselves in, where CCP literally just gutted the community team, which was the face of the communications between the players and CCP, it's kind of hard to buy into CSM this year a little bit. And at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if they outright didn't do it. Or if there was outright less support for it. That wouldn't be surprising either. There's no community team left to make the announcement, yeah. Yeah, he's like, I brought some shoes for we were buying the week, but I don't want to fly them. I know, right? I know. So we'll see. Hopefully the CSM's still on. There is value in that. I just don't know if the gutting of the community seems probably gonna leave a sour taste in people's mouths, man, as far as supporting it, especially from your like normal high sec people, which like this. It's not like they get a lot of representation there already, but yeah, it is what it is. All right, that's really all I got, guys. This is definitely one of our longer episodes for sure. I'll get this on YouTube here by tomorrow for sure. After I give it a good listen through. No matter the gutting of the community makes me worry about things like CSM, the AT. Yep, totally agree, man. Totally agree. He's like, what's normal high sec people? Yeah, I mean, they're there. They're out there. They're out there. Makes me worry about the only things to come will revolve around microtransactions. That wouldn't be surprising. That wouldn't be surprising. We'll see. All we can do is just do our best to honestly enjoy the game and play it. All right, that's all we can really do. All right, with that being said, guys, I think I'm gonna call it right here. It's definitely one of our longer episodes, but chock full of info. Loved it. And really curious about the Saber pick. Hopefully that pans out for next week. All right, but other than that, I got nothing else, and I'll see you guys next week. Thanks, guys.